Bobby Roode is on SmackDown Live. Yay! Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 50, the Big 50 of WWPWW Worldwide Wrestling Podcast. Worldwide Wrestling, the #1 wrestling podcast in the greater Central Illinois area. That is correct. Come at us, other podcasts in the Central Illinois, Logan County area. You got nothing. Well, 4 pretty good darn days, I'd say, of wrestling and wrestling-related stuff.
One extremely good day.
One extremely good day. And, so, yeah, man, let's go jump right into the nitty-gritty. You got a little bit of news to share with us, and then we will jump into everything.
Yeah, just a couple bits of news. Shouldn't take too long. First, I want to talk about John Jones. UFC, I don't know what belt he held.
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight belt. Has failed his drug test, and it seems that his title will be stripped from him.
Yes.
Caleb, what are your thoughts on John Jones failing yet another drug test?
I'm giving up on him. He was my favorite fighter for the longest time, and then all the dumb stuff he got involved in, year and a half ago, and to get stripped of the belt 3 times is just crazy, because the first time he got stripped because he tested positive for cocaine and he got involved in a bunch of legal issues. He had the hit and run thing, and so he got stripped of that, and then he won the interim belt, and then he tested positive but like a couple days before UFC 200 and last July, and so he got stripped of the interim belt, and then he won the belt from Daniel Cormier a couple weeks ago, and now he's getting stripped of it again. So it's just like, dude's an amazing fighter. He's a freak of nature. He's a great athlete, but I mean, it seems very much like he's a cheater. I don't know how he's going to be able to explain this one. I don't think he can. It's too bad, because like I said, he's a great fighter, and I always liked watching the guy, but I mean, now I'm just gonna have to, just pay attention to the other fighters that I do. It's sad to see somebody just, keep cheating and cheating and cheating, and get second chance after second chance after second chance, and just squandered it all away and stuff. So
yeah, John Jones, come on, man. I don't know if this is you or if this is your training staff. If it's your training staff, you need to fire them right away. Like, if they slipped you something or whatever, you need to get rid of those guys. Come on, man. You were like UFC's golden boy a couple years ago, and you've just kind of fallen from grace. And you are a joy to watch. You are fun to watch. A great fighter. You don't need this crap in your system. Why it happened? We don't care. Stop it. You are a great fighter. We will pay to watch you. I think that's been proven. So anyway, John, let's get over this junk. Let's get all this crap out of your system. You don't need it. Train. Let's be legit. Anyway, that's enough UFC talk for now. I don't think there's any more talk today. Anyway, second piece of news is Ric Flair is doing better.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not out of the woods, but he is doing better, and so our prayers are still with you, Nature Boy. Get better. Woo!
Woo!
I like what I don't know if they did it on air, but I saw it on a meme. Akira Tozawa and Titus O'Neil. Give me 2 claps and a woo and a Ric Flair. Woo! It's really funny. Anyway, so best wishes to you, Ric Flair. Third piece of news, if you did not catch it, last night, Enzo Amore is now officially part of 205 Live.
Really? Nice.
He showed up at the end of 205 Live, introduced himself, and kind of had a stare down with Neville. Neville didn't want to have anything to do with it and kind of just left, was like, whatever, this guy's not worth my time, and leaves. Sadly, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen to him in 205 Live. People are going to look at him. He's not the greatest wrestler. He needed Cass. But this is a chance for him to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
If he can do that, I think people will be behind him no matter what. He's a great talker. We enjoy listening to him. This is kind of his last chance. If people sour on him, he probably will be fired or demoted even more. So anyway, Enzo made his 205 Live debut last night. What are your thoughts?
I didn't hear about that at all, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, like I've been saying, I think that could help get more eyes on 205 Live. So I like it.
All right. Well, that's the bit of news for today. I have nothing else.
All right, well, cool. Yeah, of course, if any of you didn't know, this was the biggest party of the summer because they never stopped saying that ever for the past month. It's the biggest party of the summer. We get it, and then we have to hear that Machine Gun Kelly song 3 times every single show. It's a good song. I like it, but it's just like, still, you just hear it all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, so this was SummerSlam weekend. We had NXT TakeOver 3, Brooklyn 3 rather. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, and then SummerSlam, and then we had the after shows of Raw and SmackDown, both of which I thought were pretty good. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and jump right into it with NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3.
All right, let's go this. Let's do this thing match by match. First match we got is Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega versus Johnny Gargano. Caleb, what are your thoughts about this match?
Johnny Wrestling it's such a great nickname because he is good at the graps.
That he is.
He's a fantastic wrestler. I really like him a lot. I loved DIY, and I'm really interested to see where these guys go in their single careers. And so yeah, I thought they both were awesome. There were a lot of great moves and high spots in this. It's a matter of when, not if. These guys come to the main roster. I think they could kind of get more eyes on 205 Live too, and especially Gargano. So many great spots, like I talked about, like the slingshot spear, and then Gargano did like 3, I think, slingshot moves or something like that. And it was a really good match. It was really fun. Good setting up of a feud here, or establishing of at least a history of for these guys or something. And yeah, I liked Almas. I liked him a lot. He had that kind of fun heel shtick thing, because he had like the chick with him and stuff like that. And so yeah, I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite match of the night. Maybe except for the tag team match. I really enjoyed the tag team match. But anyway, as far as this match goes, absolutely everything you said. What I would like to see is, I know Ciampa's going to be out for a little bit. I'd like to see Gargano moved up to 205 Live, and their feud start there. Because
yes.
that would get a lot of eyes on 205 Live. Ciampa come in, and they've already kind of started the kind of psychology behind with it, with the throwing in of the shirt that Vega did, and so we will see. I would like them to move that to 205 Live and not keep it on NXT. Establish Gargano in NXT. I know Ciampa's got a while before he comes back because of his I can't remember his leg or something with his injury, and so establish him on NXT. Take him to 205 Live, and then get more of that psychology in there. Something's happening. Ciampa's coming back, and kind of just different things with that. I think that'd be fun. But as far as Almas, absolutely. I don't know his weight. He looks bigger than what he probably is. I would like to see him also on 205 Live. They have several guys in NXT that would be fun to go do that. The thing with 205 Live is I think they'll have to add another hour. The problem with the whole roster is it's saturated with talent right now. And like, you could think of names that aren't performing, at least not on the TV shows. They might be performing live, but they have so many people like Ty Dillinger, who has been off SmackDown Live for a bit. We haven't seen him in a bit, which is sad because I want to see him more. So much talent that they're kind of wasting right now. And so as far as these two go, when they do get moved up, I hope they get moved up to 205 Live. I hope they can put some life into that. And another hour to 205 Live would be fun to bring all these guys who have been signed on and to show their talents and get some story going. I think that'd be really good. But as far as the match goes, wonderful match. Everything you said. Johnny Gargano is Johnny Wrestling. Almas is better than everybody thinks he is, and so I think Zelina has added a level to him, a layer to him that was missing, and so I think that'll be good if he plays that. If they play that up better than they had in the past. All right, the next match is Sanity versus the Authors of Pain, and this is probably my favorite match of the night. Nikki Cross can do no wrong. She's awesome. The stuff that she does in the ring puts her body in peril all the time. I mean that outside, having Killian Dane ram into her.
Yeah, she was basically sandwiched.
She was sandwiched between these two monster of men.
Yeah.
Good job, Nikki. Good job, Nikki. You are awesome. Sanity wins. I think Authors of Pain will be moved up soon. So we'll see what happens with that. I think they're the ones behind the Fandango Breeze stuff. So we'll see what happens. Caleb, what was your thoughts about the match?
I thought it was a really good match. It seems like every single tag team match I've watched in NXT has not been bad, like even remotely. And I know some people like have kind of been not. They haven't been high on Authors of Pain. They just be like, they're just big guys who just brawl. They don't do a whole lot, blah blah blah, kind of thing. Like, they're not, And yeah, they did totally look like Ninja Turtles with the. The way they had the masks and the wrap and like they were wearing all green and stuff. That was hilarious.
Yep.
And but I thought they did a great job in all three of the tag matches of theirs. I saw the one was the triple threat with DIY and Revival, and then the one against DIY, and then this one were all really really good. And so I think they're also better. I think they are also better than a lot of people give them credit for because. This match was really, really good. Sanity's pretty out there and wild and stuff. I would totally love to see them square off against Wyatt, or something like that. That would be cool. He's, do something like he thinks that Nikki Cross is Sister Abigail or something.
Mm.
And so, she kind of switches sides and goes to him and stuff like that. And so then that starts a something like that. I just thought they could do something kind of kooky like that. And yeah, the match, it wasn't my favorite match of the night, but to be fair, there wasn't a single bad match during this whole thing, and it was really good. I really really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right about Authors of Pain. They've grown on me a lot, and looking back, I have a top 15 of the year. I couldn't stop putting matches onto my list, so I actually had more than that, but I actually trimmed a couple matches off of it and replaced some matches. You're absolutely right. 3 of the top 15 matches for me of the year have been with Authors of Pain. Yet, granted, DIY was involved in 2 of those.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite matches of the year. It was very good storytelling, very good psychology, very good everything about it. I would love to go back and just watch this match because it was so entertaining to me. I just really enjoyed it. I'm ready to see Authors of Pain on SmackDown. I think they need that kind of presence because right now, Usos have SmackDown line on lock. If you didn't hear it on SmackDown, that's what they said anyway. So yeah, that's that match. The third match of the night is Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
These guys are good wrestlers. I liked the match a lot, man. This was almost my match of the night, honestly. I really like both of these guys. They're really really good. I think both these guys are ready to come up to the main roster.
Yeah. I think Itami's on his way.
Yeah, because he's been in NXT for a long time.
Yeah.
He should be. He's
and another guy that would give 205 Live some.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they're both really good. This match was so brutal and hard hitting, which I like, and I just really really liked it. It's not something that I can exactly put my finger on. It's just one of those things where I know I like it. I know it's awesome. It's like chocolate ice cream. It's just it's good. It's like in Joe Dirt. Why's tree good? Why's sunset good?
Mm-hmm.
It just is. This is almost my match of the night. It was it was awesome. I thought it was pretty awesome in just my speed.
It was a good match. I enjoyed it. I like this hard-hitting, strong style type of style. If it can be done well and without getting hurt, I would like to see more of this.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I don't know that we'll see it on the main roster because I feel like Vince is more safe and wants to play things a lot safer than this. But these guys have been doing it for years. They know how to hit hard without actually hitting hard.
Mhm.
Even though Alistair did kind of get scraped some.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it was awesome watching him bleed and do what he does. Man, come on, let's bring that back.
Mhm.
I hate to say that, but a lot of times they stop matches now if they have. Well, I guess NXT did it once. They haven't done it in a while. But anyway, great match. Again, everybody who had a match kept stepping up their game, match by match by match. This is why this is probably my favorite quote unquote pay per view of the year, if you want to call it pay per view. So yeah, it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
All right, fourth match, Asuka versus Ember Moon for the women's title, and this was an okay match. Relatively hard hitting and fun to watch. Sadly, Asuka got hurt afterwards or near the end of it with a collarbone. She broke her collarbone, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the title if she has to give it up. Doesn't sound like she'll have a lot of time missing, but we'll see. Caleb, what were your thoughts about the match?
This was actually my favorite match because I didn't know what was going to happen. I wanted Ember Moon to win a lot just because I feel like they've kind of backed themselves into a corner with making Asuka unbeatable and stuff like that because you never want to do that. You build somebody up so strong. It's just like, okay, they need to lose sometime, but we've built them up to look so strong. How can we do it?
Yeah.
And I felt like this would have been a good time for her to lose the title and then come up because she's ready. And because I think Ember Moon deserves a title run, and I think she deserves to be the person to end Asuka's streak and be the next title holder and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like part of all of that was running through my mind the whole time I was watching this, and so it gave me this feeling of suspense and the unknown. That like if you're watching a movie and you don't know what's going on, it's like it's some mystery, and you're trying to figure it out and you don't know. Like that's part of the fun of it that makes it more involving and intriguing, and that was definitely the case here because I didn't know what was going to happen. There's tons of awesome spots and awesome moves, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, and everybody gave him a standing ovation, and then when Ember was just in there, they gave her a standing ovation and stuff. And yeah, it was all of that combined. The crowd getting into it, me getting into it, them just going at it hardcore and stuff like that. Like all that combined just made this match feel like an epic battle, and so that's why it was my favorite match of the night because it made me care a lot about it, and I really got into it, and I really enjoyed it. And when it ended, I was just like, I honestly could have watched it for another 10 minutes. Yeah. Just like the tag match, and just like the Aleister Black Tommy match. I was like, I wanted to go another 10 minutes. But yeah, that's just me. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who didn't like it, and I'm sure there are people who liked it, but not as much as I did. But I just thought that both of these gals just put on an amazing show and really went all out.
Yeah, it was a really solid match, and people love Ember. That was seen after the fact that she was in the ring, and maybe part of that might have been the fact that Asuka was hurt, and so she had to leave, and they needed to keep it on her before, so they can get Asuka out to make sure that she's okay. But everybody loves Ember. Her name's awesome. She's awesome. Her moveset may need a little bit of work. Her really high spots are really great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she's necessarily ready for the main roster yet. I think it'd be fun to see her in the main roster. Especially, I think on SmackDown, I think her and Naomi could have some really good matches together. And I ended up, sorry, kind of a side note, I ended up listening to the Naomi podcast, Talk is Jericho podcast, and to see her excitement of all of these women in NXT, like she's super excited to have some of this new talent come up and wrestle with them because she's the most athletic right now, the most athletic wrestler, women's wrestler in the WWE. Some might make a case for Sasha, but I'm not going to make that case. I think Naomi is the most athletic of them all. And so to see Ember versus Naomi would be fun to watch. Naomi versus Asuka would be fun to watch. So these two women, Asuka and Ember, have a bright future ahead of them.
For sure.
Especially Ember, since she's so young. I can't remember how old Asuka is, but still, both these ladies.
For sure. Like, for me, like, Naomi and Asuka, and then Ember and Charlotte. Those are the money matches
Ember
right there.
Ember and Charlotte would be great too.
Ember and Charlotte, and then Asuka and Naomi. Those are the money matches for me right now,
Mhm.
and stuff. And then that could build up to a big babyface versus babyface feud between Ember and Naomi because, I think a lot of people get excited by that prospect. I mean, Ember Moon shared a picture of, which that I showed you of like her face in the background and Naomi holding the title and stuff like that. And so she shared that. So I thought that was pretty awesome. That got me pretty pumped.
Sweet. All right, moving on to the main event of the night: Drew McIntyre versus the champ Bobby Roode. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
These guys are also good at wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, I always forget how tall Drew McIntyre is.
Yeah.
He's built just like Orton. He's 6'5", 250. And this match was pretty good. With Bobby Roode losing, I thought that he would come up to the main roster. And I loved what happened afterwards, after he won the title, stuff like that. I like McIntyre's theme song. His entrance theme is pretty awesome. The heavy metal song, but it has the Scottish bagpipes in it. I thought that was so cool. And yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty decent. A good main event. It wasn't the best match of the night, but it was not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was really good. Both these guys did a good job. And what was McIntyre's finisher? I'm trying to remember.
I forget what his finisher's called. I'll have to look it up because I don't
know.
remember.
I can't remember. Excuse me. What his finishing move was, but hold on, folks. We're on Wikipedia looking it up.
Claymore. It's the Claymore. It's the running single leg drop kick.
Yeah.
Claymore,
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. I thought that because I was like, oh, it has like a really cool name, but that was cool, and
it's a big boot. That's what it is.
I was just like, what was the name of it?
It's bigger than a big boot because he actually jumps in the air.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so I was just like, yeah, man, what was the name of it? Yeah, it was a cool name. So, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty decent main event.
Yeah, it was really good. I think it was one of Bobby Roode's better matches in NXT. I'm not crazy high on Bobby Roode. I like his personality. He's very Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, Ric Flair, repackaged, and he does a great job with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very, very excited to see him on SmackDown Live. The rumor is that Vince wants him to be one of the top guys. So I'm excited to see that. He has the billing to do it. He's absolutely right what he said on SmackDown. He does have the ability to do it. People will go to see Bobby Roode.
They will.
But as far as this match goes, it was a good match. I'm glad Drew won it. It's kind of interesting that he came in and kind of right away won it, but mostly because there's guys like Aleister Black who is becoming better in my mind. I didn't really care for him. I didn't care for the match that he had with Neville on the UK tournament.
Yeah,
it was okay,
it was all right,
and I was like, because I knew Tommy End had all this hype, and I was like, okay, I don't see the hype. But after the Kyle O'Reilly match, seeing what he could actually do, and seeing this match with Itami, I'm super high on him. So I would love to see Aleister Black versus Drew McIntyre down the road for the title. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. There was a rumor that Drew was hurt. Apparently that's not the case. So that's a good thing for him and for NXT going forward. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know there are some guys who want the title, and we'll see what happens. I thought it was a decent match, but other than that, it was a good way to cap off a really.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us what happened after the match?
Which part? Oh, the after the match. Yeah, Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole shows up with Red Dragon, if you will. Both Kyle O'Reilly and Robert Fish. I can't remember what his first. Bobby Fish.
I think that's
Bobby Fish. Shows up and Adam Cole, babies, is finally in NXT. I thought they were going to do that whole thing because they did it with Bobby Roode, they did it with Drew McIntyre, where he's just in the stands and everything's okay. But nope, they did a better thing.
They did.
Adam Cole to
They
come
did.
in.
It is a better thing.
It is a better thing.
You're right.
Because that's Adam Cole. If you watched him in Ring of Honor and other places, this is what he does. He goes out and attacks people, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Me too. I really am. Because I'm not that familiar with him. I've heard of the name and stuff, and then when I heard that there were rumors of him getting signed, I really looked him up and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy seems pretty cool. So
yeah,
right on.
It'll be fun to see where they go. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so letter grade. What would you give NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3?
Solid A.
Solid A.
Yeah, they did it like straight out of the gate. Like X-Pac was saying on Twitter, every match they would go back. This probably didn't happen, but in his mind they would go back and say follow that, and that's exactly what they did. Each participant in NXT Takeover 2 or 3 came out and followed the act before, because like I said, the first match for me was a great match, and I didn't know if anybody could follow that, and sure enough, everybody came out, they gave their A game, and for that I give them an A. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say it was a solid A too, man. Yeah, it totally was. Like, I was not bored during this whole thing. Continuously entertained. I really enjoyed it. A lot of these matches I'd go back and watch for sure. I might even just go back and watch the whole show at some point if I am in the mood. So yeah, for me, it also gets an A. It passes with flying colors.
Right on. So we move from NXT Takeover 3, Brooklyn 3, to SummerSlam 2017. We won't go into the pre-show too much, mostly because it was except for the last match. The match that should have been on the main card. And looking back, you possibly could have put Randy and Rusev, but Randy is too big of a name. If John Cena wasn't attached to Baron Corbin match, that would have been on, I believe, because the Usos versus New Day came out and basically made a statement to WWE, how dare you put us on the pre-show, and they gave one heck of a match. Outside of the main event, this was my favorite match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
These two teams have so much chemistry, so much goodness. Go watch it if you haven't watched it, because it is wonderful. Caleb, what were your thoughts about it?
I think it was an incredible match. Right after the main event, this was match of the night, and it was on the stinking pre-show. You have the two biggest tag teams probably in WWE, the Usos, who are amazing as heels and who are amazing in-ring competitors, and then you got the New Day, who are tremendously entertaining and the crowd loves, and they're great in-ring competitors. They know each other so well, and like Kevin Owens, like on Twitter, he just put, "Man, the Usos and the New Day are really good at wrestling," and I just was like, yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Like,
yeah,
it was amazing. Like, this is on my top 10 lists for match of the year. This is on my this is probably the best tag team match of the year. Considering that there were some great tag team matches this year, that's saying a lot. This, like, you and I were just like, we don't want this match to end. We don't. Like, we were just in awe. And then when it was over, we were just like, it was like a 20-minute match, and it could have gone another 10 minutes, and we'd have been fine with that. And also, why was it on the pre-show?
And like, both these. This is one of the better feuds that I could watch back and forth. I think they need to take a break for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just take a break for a tad bit, so that we can come back and be like, you guys should not stop wrestling. But both these teams are just amazing what they do, and they work well together. You can tell. I think you can tell the people who work the best together are either hate each other or they really, really like each other, and they know they trust each other. And I say that because the Usos and the New Day, they do a lot of the video gaming together.
Yeah.
So they do the up down down shows all the time with the Usos.
Yeah. And outside of the wrestling personalities, all 5 of these guys seem like wonderful human beings. So.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know.
They have their flaws. We all do. But yeah, like these two teams work really well together. I can't wait to see them do it again.
For sure.
But yeah, pre-show.
I know.
I mean, the Neville Akira Tozawa was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
But this match should not have been on pre-show.
It shouldn't have.
There were several other matches that could have been. Like I said, the Randy Orton Rusev one, even if it wasn't Randy Orton, and if John Cena, Baron Corbin, if it wasn't John Cena, both of those probably would have been on the pre-show.
Yeah, probably.
Especially since they didn't do anything Tuesday or yesterday about the Randy Orton Rusev thing. I don't get it. I don't get it, but we'll get there. All right, so we move from the pre-show. Really, really amazing match. If you do get a chance, like Caleb said, go watch it because it is a really, really fun to watch.
It's one I will go back to watch a lot.
Yeah. Yep. And if what, like I said, like Caleb said, and like I said, if it wasn't for the main event of the night, that would have been match of the night, and it was on the pre-show, like Caleb said. The first main match of the night was John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
It was fine. There's nothing much wrong with it, but there's nothing much right with it either.
Yep.
Baron being really angry and then Cena being really entertaining was the only really good thing about it. Because you and I were just like, they just buried Baron Corbin just because he got in a bunch of Twitter feuds with people and stuff. So it's just like, that seems like, I get it. You have to quote unquote punish your employee for being an idiot, but you already took the Money in the Bank briefcase away from him in a really silly way that looked like it was building up to a like hardcore like hashtag beat up John Cena match where you'd but then you just have Super Cena bury him, so that was just that kind of stunk. And then after what happened with on SmackDown Live, I got even more perplexed just because I didn't know. I was just but I think things will be fine though in the long run. But yeah, it was just there. Like I said, there was nothing really right with it, but there was really nothing wrong with it either. And so it just is.
Yep. And I think I'll leave it with that because you're right. It just is. It just was. It is sad that for me, this is a petty burying of someone who you started investing time in. I think it's just stupid.
And who's been getting better and growing on the two of us.
Yeah. And I mean, does he need to learn some things? Absolutely. But if he was playing his character on Twitter, that's what he was doing. He's playing his Twitter. He is for lack of better words, he's a prick. That's his gimmick.
Yeah.
And so let him be his gimmick online. Let him apologize when he knows or realizes he's wrong. Let him do that. And just go on, let him be who he's going to be. And now with Bobby Roode on SmackDown Live and Baron Corbin, like you said, in the weird ref role this week, let him be. Let him get his character back. Let him grow. But again, this was a petty match. Should have been on the pre-show, but it wasn't. All right, next match is Natalya versus Naomi in an interesting little title change, to say the least. Natalya wins over Naomi.
Yeah.
We have no idea why. A majority of, outside of the Cruiserweight title so far, Cruiserweight made sense. Give it back to Neville. He's been monstering that title really well. And I think that's a great idea. Taking the belt off Naomi, I have no idea where this is leading.
Me neither.
If she gets it back, fine. But I don't get it. As far as the match goes, it was fine.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was not bad. It was not a bad match, but it was very strange to have the title change. Because you and I thought if Natalya did win, that Carmella would cash in. If Natalya win, but if Naomi retained, then they might hold off on it. I can't remember if that's what you thought, but I remember that's what I thought. It was like if Natalya wins, but at the same time, Natalya is a good worker. She's growing in her heel work, so maybe they just want to keep this feud going, but they want to reverse the roles and be like, hey, Naomi, you've been a great champ and stuff like that, but we want to give the belt on her and let her do her heel thing for a while or something. I don't know. It's just very very strange. And I'm sure we'll find out and stuff like that. And who knows? It may be well done that they did it. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and find out what the end game is here.
Yeah, it's one of the title changes that I didn't hate. I just didn't understand. And
Yeah.
and I agree with you. We need to step back and be like, okay, let's wait and see where this goes. Maybe at the next pay-per-view, or maybe even at Survivor Series, maybe something will happen. Um, but it was just weird. And like I said, I don't hate it. I think she does her Natalia, like you said, is a good worker. She deserves a title. It's just weird for now.
Mm-hmm.
So we move on from that weirdness to an okay match to a shouldn't have even happened match.
Mm-hmm.
Big
This
Cass.
should have been on the pre-show.
This should have been on the pre-show. Maybe even not on the show at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big Cass and Big Show, and I understand they're trying to raise Big Cass into one of the next big heels. I get it, but this match was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially ending. I thought that what Enzo did was funny.
Yeah,
I thought that was great.
That was the only thing.
Yeah, it was great. And then he gets down and he gets big booted, and that's it. Like, again, Enzo has heat on him backstage. Everybody apparently hates him. Everybody does. At least that's the news coming from certain sources. But this was a dumb match.
Mm-hmm.
It was just stupid. That's my opinion. What's your opinion?
Stupid match. F minus.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was so stupid. Besides the cage spot with Enzo, which was funny, every part of this I hated.
And it's even worse that and I didn't put this on the Hulu version, but I knew about it. Big Cass hurting himself. I mean, that's sad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Big Cass hurting himself is sad, but that makes the feud with Enzo null and void.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them breaking them up null and void. It's sad. It's sad what they're doing with Big Cass. I actually wish they wouldn't have turned him heel. They should have kept him. They should have turned Enzo heel and then kept Big Cass as a face. That's me.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So going from kind of a horrible match to just downright weird, because they didn't do anything with this on SmackDown Live. Randy Orton versus Rusev. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Oh, it was 10 seconds long. It was. You and I were kind of excited for this, just to see what would happen, and then just like this is one of those things where it's just like, okay, this feels like they needed to cut time.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
the shark cage match already happened, and they're like, well, crap, that was terrible, and we can't just cut that completely. So we're gonna holster this match, this feud, from SummerSlam, and we're just gonna do a 10-second match where you just kind of surprise Randy, and then the match starts, and then you just surprise him with an RKO and win really quick. The crowd popped though, which was crazy, because Randy won with the sick RKO, and Rusev just went face first. I hope the guy didn't I hope he was just selling it. I hope he didn't chip his tooth or break his nose, because he took it like Taker used to and like RVD used to. He just went face first and let his feet hit. But yeah, it was just very strange. Like, you and I were just like, that just feels like a time thing. Like, we're going to put you guys on the back burner. Next pay-per-view, we'll have you guys, we'll have a big blow-off for you guys, and we'll continue. But for this, we need to cut time, and, the shark cage match already happened, so we can't cut that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as that goes, I agree with that. I agree with what you said. They could have made this match longer to make us forget about the shark cage match. But you're absolutely right, because looking at it, it is smack dab in the middle of the show. But like I said, nothing happened on SmackDown Live. If something happened on SmackDown Live to further this feud, if that's what they're going to do, it would have been interesting to watch. But nothing happened, and so we got an RK out of nowhere. Yes, it looked sick. Yes, Rusev took it hard. Yes, the crowd popped. But this is a meaningless match. It's these two guys getting a payday, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're both good workers, in my opinion. Randy Orton got destroyed last year, got concussed last year because of that. And so I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, I mean,
and that's what this SummerSlam was. I don't get it.
Yeah. The thing that I realized also later that night was that happened with Roman and Rusev last year. Roman was going to challenge Rusev for the U.S. title, and then before the match started, Rusev attacked Roman during his entrance. and then they brawled for a couple minutes, and then the match never started. And then we were just like, okay, they probably needed to cut time, and so they just decided to have them just brawl for a little bit to heat up the feud, and then like I could see next week, Rusev coming out like, Randy Orton, you cheap shot at me, blah blah blah, I'm going to get my revenge, Machka, and all that stuff. I could see them doing something like that, but it's just, it is very strange. Like
For now.
It is very strange. Like we keep saying, it just feels like a time thing. Like, we need to cut time. Sorry, you guys are gonna have a 10-second match. What?
I mean, I don't know how long they were actually out there, but you're right. It was a 10-second match. I don't know if it was like a minute or 2 minutes and 10 seconds technically.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we move on to that weird RKO to the Raw Women's Championship match, the Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. And so that happened. It wasn't a bad match. I actually think for me, it was Alexa's best match that she's had so far. I thought that they worked well together for the most part. It made Alexa look strong for a majority of the match. But then, again, another what in the world are you thinking? Sasha winning. Now, people have theorized that the reason why Sasha won is because she took the place of Bayley, and apparently, I can't fact check this, but from other sources who have around the internets have said that historically, if you were a placeholder for someone, you win the title. Okay, I don't get that. You should just allow Alexa Bliss to win and go on, but she might win at No Mercy. We'll see what happens. Anyway, it was an okay match. Nothing too bad. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Unlike the other, this was like the same story, different ending with the Natalya Naomi, because whereas the match was decent, it was fine. That ending just had me curious and wondering what happened. This one actually kind of like really annoyed me. Like, this one really bothered me. Because I really like Alexa Bliss. I think she's doing an amazing job. I'm moving her to Raw and then having her win the title from Bayley like that, and then just Bayley gets hurt, so they have to shoehorn Sasha in. She's like, Sasha had her time last year. She's not that interesting of a champion right now. She's not. Last year, what her and Charlotte were doing was great, but this year she just doesn't have any momentum, really. She's not that interesting right now. She had her big thing with Charlotte last year, which was great, but man, this is just it's just weird. Like, I was just like, why this? Are we gonna be doing hot potato crap like we did last year with Sasha and Charlotte? Like, are we gonna have to do this with Alexa and Sasha now? I hope not. So yeah, that was just really frustrating because I was just like, you could have just kept the Bayley thing, bookmarked it, kept it in the pantry for a rainy day. And then when she's back, then do all that. Like, why do you have to just do the same thing, but with, like, I don't know. It just was frustrating because I thought Alexa was doing such a great job, and I was hoping that somebody like that they would just move on to like maybe a feud with Nia or a feud with Emma, who it looks like they were planting seeds possibly for. But yeah, it just was frustrating because it just seemed like they just were lethargic and just decided to do everything they were going to do with Bayley, but with Sasha. And it's just like why? Like, this isn't just like where you're like, I don't know who to put the title to. All right, well, just put it on Cena because people will love that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like because Vince used to do that all the time back in the late 2000s and early 2010s. It's always just like, okay, let's see, let's just put it on Cena. Like. Kind of thing, and or just Triple H being like, I'll just put it on, I'll just have it for 200 days, and I'll lose it to Randy Orton for 20 days, and then I'll get it back for 150 days. Anyways, it makes me sick, Jeremy. It was stupid.
Yeah, one of the things I think we also need to take into consideration is their next pay-per-view next major pay-per-view is Survivor Series.
Yes,
so
the next
maybe they're planting seeds for Survivor Series stuff in SummerSlam, but then again, we can look at this match out of that context and think, what?
Yeah.
Like a majority of the except for, I can understand the Uso title change, and I can understand the match that we're going to, in a couple matches we're going to talk about, the Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. I can understand them winning it. But that being said, I hope Alexa wins it back at No Mercy. We'll see what happens.
Me too.
All right, the next match is Finn Balor, Demon King Finn Balor. Let's get that straight, because that's what WWE said. WWE said Demon King Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a really good match. I've been wanting these guys to feud, and I've rather enjoyed their feud. And I thought it was good. They protected the Demon King gimmick, and yeah, I just thought it was really good to see these two, like, supernatural type guys. And I think it was kind of cool to see Bray Wyatt like get shook and kind of put off and rattled by somebody else's supernatural personality. So. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was relatively short, but it didn't feel like we were gypped out of anything. Like, it was decent. Like, I didn't feel let down by it.
Yeah, not a bad match. It's Bray and Finn doing all of their moves, and that's what that match was. And you're absolutely right. This protects the Demon King character. It makes the Demon King special. I don't know that he necessarily has to come out every pay-per-view or
I'm sure the big four.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I can't say anymore. It was an alright match. Nothing too special, but nothing like horrible. They did what they did, and they did it well. You gotta love the Demon King coming out though. Always enjoy that kind of a successor to Undertaker.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. The next match, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, which that's going to be the name now.
Yep, Death.
Versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championship titles. Yeah, the bar. Yeah, this was a good match. It was good to see Dean and Seth win. I don't know where they're going with this. It seems like maybe they will turn on each other at one point. I don't know if that's just our paranoia from what has happened before.
It's not paranoia. It's the Usos.
It's the Usos. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, I had to.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do. It's not paranoia. It's the Usos. Anyway, as far as this match goes, I thought it was really good. Cesaro and Sheamus I love them together. These guys are professionals. Cesaro destroying the beach ball needed to happen.
That was great.
Absolutely needed to happen. It did two things. It made me excited because I know that there are a lot of fans who hate the beach balls, and there are a lot of obnoxious fans, which is a majority of live fans, who like to be obnoxious. And Cesaro going out there shows that the most of the back, outside of John Cena apparently, hate the beach balls. I think they hate them because they're disrespectful. And so I don't like disrespectful fans. It takes away from the talent that you see in the ring, and it frustrates the talent in the ring so much. And I think that was evident, especially in Raw's main event this past week. The Miz is upset, and the Miz his best promos are when real life things affect him, and he can go out and say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And he is 100% right. Everything he said that he was frustrated with. Everything he said on Monday Night Raw was absolutely right. Anyway, kind of a side note from the match. Really good match. I'm interested in see where Dean and Seth go. Caleb, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was a really good match too. You're absolutely right. Cesaro and Sheamus can do no wrong. They are fantastic together. Because they had their, I think it was last year at SummerSlam, they had their seventh best of 7 series match. Where the winner would get a title opportunity, and they tied the match. And then, like, the next day on Raw, Mick Foley said, "Yeah, you guys are going to get a shot at the tag titles. You're going to be a team." And we were just like, interesting. And then now this is, like, a genius thing, because these guys have been just amazing together. And for the first time ever, I like Sheamus. And because as Blampier says, # Sheamus ruins everything.
Except for this tag team.
I like Sheamus, but he ruins everything. Like, But yeah, Sheamus ruins stuff no more. Like, this tag team is fantastic. I hope it goes on for a lot longer. I hope they don't end it too early. The Dean and Seth, I like it too. I'm glad they won. I like that they're back together and stuff like that. It almost sounds like we're talking about Ross and Rachel. They're back together, which is good. I
hope they. We're on a break.
I know, we were on a break. That'd be so funny if they started doing that.
That'd be funny.
That'd be hilarious. I just really hope they don't do a whole betrayal angle where Dean turns heel and betrays Seth.
Agreed.
Because Seth is such a natural heel and people love Dean and he's just such a natural babyface that I feel like if they reverse the roles, people would still cheer Dean. They might not boo Seth, if he was a face. They probably wouldn't boo him, but I don't think anybody would boo Dean. Or if they were, they'd just be booing at the fact that they turned him heel. They wouldn't be booing Dean.
Yeah, Dean is best in this in-betweener kind of stage. He is, even as a face, he's not really a face. He's kind of just his own guy. He's a kind of lone wolf, but not really a lone wolf.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. I don't think he'll do. He'll do heel well. I agree with you. I think people are fine with booing Seth, but won't boo Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think Dean can actually pull off a really truly heel.
I don't think so either.
He's great at riding the fence between the two, which is where he needs to stay. I hope they don't break these guys up for a while. And not even, I hope it's not even a brother betrays brother thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just go their separate ways. Hey, we're done with what we're doing. Let's go our separate ways type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds climactic, but it's the best for both characters. Don't turn Dean heel.
Yeah.
If you want to turn Seth heel, fine, but do it after they're broken up.
Yeah.
Because that's already been done. Let's not do that again. Let's think of new things, people. Let's think of new things, not the same old crap that repackaged.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next match is the AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens match for the U.S. title, with Shane O'Mac as the special guest referee. Kayla, what were your thoughts about this match?
I really, really liked it. I liked Shane's presence as the guest referee. I thought that made it a lot more fun. Made it seem like a big SummerSlam match. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. KO and AJ work well together. You and I are both on the AJ Styles as U.S. Champ Forever train. It was a really good match. Well done. I really enjoyed everything that they did with it. I loved Shane reacting to stuff like when AJ would hit KO hard or vice versa. He'd just be like, oh, and stuff like that, and all that stuff was good. It's that's a little hokey and it's a little silly, but it's a good kind. It's funny.
Because most refs do that anyway. We just don't pay attention to the ref mostly.
Yeah, because it's a ref. It's not
a special guest referee. And even Baron did a good job. I thought Baron as a referee did a really good job this week at SmackDown Live, doing the facial stuff as well. Sorry. Where were you going with that? Were you gonna say anything?
I was wrapping up. Just saying it was really good. Shane being the referee, and it was good. I loved how they both kept getting mad at him, and then he would just push them off or something like that. And I love how the other person would always counter that into a roll up or something and stuff. It was really good. A lot of good stuff happening that I liked.
Yeah, it was a fine match. I know a lot of people didn't really care for Shane in the match. Not a lot of people, but some people on the internet, they didn't like Shane as much. But I thought the reality is I'm enjoying the build to Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. And so that's basically what this match is about. It's not about the U.S. title as much as they were saying it. It's more about the Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens match that's going to come sometime. So I'm interested in seeing how they go together. We'll see what happens with that. But fine match. All right, it's good enough. Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura in the most disappointing match probably of the night. Both, and I knew Jinder was going to win. Don't get me wrong. However, Shinsuke should have won. I feel like this has damaged Shinsuke a bit They've kind of tried to redeem him on this past week on SmackDown Live, but
I think Vince knows he messed up.
I think so too, a bit. I wonder if this is going to break Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers up. I think that needs to happen sooner than later, especially to make Jinder lose the title. But as far as the match goes, it wasn't even that great. Mostly because Jinder is a one-trick pony. He does all the stuff that he does all the time, which is fine. It's safe that way. It's you get paid either way. But there isn't really anybody on SmackDown Live outside of AJ Styles, outside of possibly Kevin Owens. I'd like to see Kevin versus Shinsuke. There are a couple guys who could go on the level of Shinsuke, and even bringing Sami Zayn back in to fight Shinsuke would be better than what Shinsuke's been given so far. Dolph should have been better, but they've never wrestled together.
Yeah.
They've never had time together, and so I think eventually that could be all right. But they've given Shinsuke horrible people to wrestle. They don't wrestle the same, and so I think that's one of the reasons why this kind of feud has kind of been garbage, is because they don't mesh well.
Yeah. And
the fact that Vince loves big sweaty men.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. You could tell Shinsuke was trying the best he could to make it good and entertaining, and but it was just kind of, it was very disappointing. I wanted Shinsuke to win so bad. I thought that would be awesome for big SummerSlam debut. This guy who's this evil heel who's been cheating to have it, and then Shinsuke comes along, over as all get out, and has his big SummerSlam debut and wins the WWE title. The face of New Japan Wrestling wins the WWE title at SummerSlam. But yeah, it just seemed like too perfect of a moment for them not to do it, and they didn't do it, and they completely messed it up. And so that was I'm just don't want to talk about it anymore.
So now on to arguably the best match of the night. The Fatal 4-Way. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for the Universal Championship. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
The words of good old JR, this was a slobber knocker. This was a drag out, knockdown, drag out. It was, complete brawl. I loved every second of it. You and I were just going nuts, just saying we wanted it to go 45 minutes and stuff, and just all the stuff that happened in it was just so awesome. Like, all these guys seemed totally game for putting on just this epic, like, Clash of Titans. Like, this was like Godzilla, at Monster Island or whatever that, that one movie was where it had, like, all the monsters in it, This was so awesome. Like, just all these, big sweaty men just, because, Vince loves them, and just going nuts and just beating each other senseless and stuff. Like, it was pretty epic. I really enjoyed it. This is probably going to go on my list for matches of the year because it was absolutely fantastic. And you just didn't know who was going to win. Like, each guy had their moment where you were like, oh crap, this is it. And it was awesome, man. I just absolutely was endlessly entertained and thrilled by it. It was awesome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is on my list. I don't remember where I put it on my list, but it is on my list of top 15 of the year. My favorite spot is Braun Strowman looking like a monster and throwing Brock into slamming him into both of the tables, and then pushing the table on top of him. And I watched a video, and it was really funny. I watched a video from Wrestle Talk News that that said basically that the table should have got the title because the table was on. I mean, if the ref would have gone 1, 2, 3, the table would have won. But with that being said, if Brock would have just put his hand on the table, or Braun would have put his hand on the table, he could have been the champion. But anyway, this whole match sets up the opposite feuds to keep Brock Roman in everybody's minds for WrestleMania this coming year, and then pushing Braun and Brock for No Mercy. that match is going to be interesting.
Yes.
I hope Brock can be a team player like he was in this match. If this match proves that Brock Lesnar can be a team player.
Yeah.
So Brock, keep being this person. Don't be the Dean of years ago, where the Dean match, because it sucks.
Yeah.
don't do that. When you guys can all sit down and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, fine, great, wonderful. Let's do that. Then keep doing that. Braun and Brock will be an interesting match, and I'm assuming Roman versus Samoa Joe will happen at No Mercy as well.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun match.
For sure.
WWE has built up their heavyweights. They should have called it the heavyweight title, but that's me.
They should have just brought back the WCW heavyweight title.
Yeah, but honestly, that's hindsight. I mean, nobody knew that this was going to be as big as it's been. The build with Braun and Roman, building up the heavyweights, and then having Brock come back in and winning the Universal title, and having Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, man, you are a worker. You come in and you prove to everybody that you belong in this spotlight. Thank you for coming in, being professional, doing your job, and making people see you. Because you have been a joy to listen to and to watch. So I really appreciate that. And so all of these personalities together, on paper it might seem like, oh, this is a bunch of dumb rock solid guys coming in. But no, this was a brilliant match. Braun looks like a monster going in. Again, Brock versus Roman is in everybody's minds going to WrestleMania. And Samoa Joe.
And are you getting more excited for that?
Yes.
Because of this four-way match and everything around it?
Yep.
I am too.
I didn't think it would, but again, they have lightning in a bottle with these heavyweights right now, and this is the most exciting stuff right now for me in the WWE. Is watching any combination of these four. Even if you brought in Samoa Joe, even if you brought in a couple of the other guys, this is brilliant stuff, good stuff. The other stuff is okay. Some of the other stuff is meh. But this is brilliant stuff, and they delivered. This match alone gets an A+ for me.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine next year at WrestleMania, main event Roman Reigns versus Universal Champion Brock Lesnar? Can you imagine if they do like a no holds barred or a falls count anywhere or something like that? Like, because I think with Brock pinning Roman to win this match was, and in hindsight the match did end quickly, but in hindsight I don't remember that. Like, I'm just like, at the time we were kind of like, ending kind of quickly. That's but now it's just like, oh well, like this match was great, just that quick little ending, whatever. So I think Brock pinning Roman to win the title will be the lightning rod for the match, because I don't think that they'll do a Royal Rumble thing to drive this feud.
Probably not, because if Brock is still Universal Champion, he doesn't need to be in.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I don't think that Roman will win the Rumble. Like,
you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. Like, maybe do a tournament, like, over a month on Raw.
King of the Ring?
Yeah, like, or bring back King of the Ring, for crying out loud, because that's one of the things I want them to do is bring back King of the Ring. So, maybe, like, over a month on Raw, you have a tournament, so every night you have a couple matches, and he wins the tournament, and then, they'll have Shinsuke win the Royal Rumble to challenge the, WWE champion for SmackDown.
That makes more sense.
That's what I would want. I want Shinsuke to win the title, or to win the Royal Rumble, and then win the title at Mania.
And I think that can be predicted now. I think a SmackDown Live person will win it this year, Royal Rumble. I think that can be predicted. That both of you and me are predicting SmackDown Live guy will win it, because it makes sense. Roman doesn't have to be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because they're already building towards that.
So,
and everybody knows they're building towards that, so why even put him in a Royal Rumble?
So, like, I think that, John Cena wins the WWE Championship, breaks Ric Flair's, sadly, he breaks Ric Flair's, 16-time record, and then Shinsuke wins the Royal Rumble, challenges Cena, wins the title at WrestleMania, and that's the SmackDown Live main event, but I believe that, they'll do something else for Raw. I believe it'll be, everything is just fantastic with with that main event. Not much was wrong with that main event.
No.
That was a great way to end a up and down show. So
Yeah, and that's what
fantastic.
It was. So overall, Caleb, SummerSlam 2017, what would be your overall letter grade?
I would give it a B. I think I would give it a solid B. Not bad enough to be a B minus, but not quite enough to get a B plus or an A. A minus, but yeah, solid B. That's 88%, or I'd say, maybe I don't know, whatever a B is, but I think B's like 85, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, I'd give it a B because the stuff that was good about it was really, really good. All the good stuff more than made up for the weird / bad stuff, in my opinion. So yeah, B.
That's a good point because I wanted to give it. I'm not going to give it a solid B. I'm going to give it an in between, a B and a B minus. Mostly because the weird stuff right now is weird. Obviously, the Usos and the Usos New Day match is an A plus, and the final match is an A plus. Both of those matches were wonderful. But I'm gonna give it a B. Not solid, more towards the B minus. Not a B minus.
So a lower B.
So a lower B, mostly because all the weird stuff and all the not so good matches kind of, it didn't ruin the show for me. It was just kind of like, what? And so I'm sure we'll figure that. I'm sure what's to come will help us to understand why SummerSlam actually happened the way it did.
Yeah.
So those are our thoughts on SummerSlam 2017.
Gets a B from the both of us.
Yep. And so we move from that to the Raw and SmackDown Live after SummerSlam 2017. The crowd at the Barclays were like a WrestleMania crowd. Both of the shows.
Loud.
So, yeah, they were loud, obnoxious, and John Cena gave them the reason to do it. But we'll get to that later. All right, Caleb, what were your thoughts about? You want to talk about Raw, or you want me to talk about Raw?
I'll let you go first.
All right. As far as all of the promos, I thought most of the promos were really good. I thought, obviously, Paul Heyman can do no wrong on the promos, except for when he's in Minnesota, and that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But I thought the first promos were really, really good. Him coming out and building up Braun Strowman the way he did, or not Braun Strowman, Brock the way he did, and then Braun Strowman coming out and destroying him. Thought it was great imagery for them to go into No Mercy with their match. Then John Cena comes out after Kurt Angle introduces him, and you messaged me that John Cena was acting a little weird.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
How I said it in the text message? Let me get out my phone and just read the text message because it was funny.
Because you're absolutely right. I don't know what John was on.
Yeah. I said Cena is acting really weird, like Don Knotts on the Andy Griffith Show. He was really loosey-goosey and just downright goofy, and I didn't mean it to rhyme, but...
yeah, like, he was the embodiment of that Brooklyn crowd. I know that he does a really good job with gauging the crowd and getting involved with the crowd and stuff, but you're absolutely right, he was weird. Like, I don't even know how to explain it except for the words that you used. He was just...
My thought was maybe he was acting kind of goofy and obnoxious to hopefully get them to pop for Roman. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe he was just like, hey, the crowd's a little loosey-goosey, I'll be a little goosey. And then he just kind of, his mind shut off and he just went a little...
Yeah,
kind of goofy and weird.
He was pro-crowd, anti-wrestler, in my opinion. There was a lot of reports that he was very, very pro beach ball, and most of everybody else was not. And so that to me was kind of a jerk move. I think he should have been mostly pro wrestler, for the wrestlers in the back, and not for necessarily the crowd. But he's always for the crowd, even though when they hate him. But that's my only negative about John Cena right now. I like him more. This is just kind of a negative step.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. Yeah. Like, it was just a weird, isolated thing. Like,
and so it was just weird. And so, like, I liked his promo. He was just weird. But The Miz. I don't know if this is the promo of the year, but it
was fantastic.
It was great. Like, and it was everything he said, I agreed with. Maybe except for the whole me, where's my moment type stuff. that's just his character, and I get that. But he's right. While two undeserving people like you get moments week after week after week, where's my moment? I do this week after week after week, and I don't get my moment, and so just his stuff about the crowd, his stuff about Roman and John was just so right on. I really agreed with it. So I thought that was pretty good. It was really good, actually. I'm trying to think of what else that I really liked, and I'm looking over my notes, and there's nothing that I'm like, yeah, I need to talk about. Nope, that was it. Like I didn't hate a lot of this stuff, but I didn't really care for the match between Jason Jordan and Finn was fine.
It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with it, so we'll see what happens. Jason asking for the match against Finn, Kurt being reluctant but doing it. That'll be interesting. The match between the Hardys and Dean and Seth, I don't know if they're going to go anywhere with that, or if it's kind of a filler match for the night or whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing another match to see what these two teams can do together. It was kind of just a small, short thing. It wasn't bad. It just was like...
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
It was one nostalgia act versus another.
Yeah.
Everybody's so nostalgia about the Shield and the Hardys that's exactly what it was. It wasn't a bad match by far. Don't care about Sasha Banks coming out.
Nope.
Alexa Bliss was fine. The match between Jason Jordan and Finn Balor was okay. And then the match between Samoa Joe... The Miz, Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns, Cena was fine, but the beach ball, there's so much beach ball stuff. They started the wave. The crowd's being very disrespectful. That was more focused on the crowd being disrespectful than I was on the fight.
Mm-hmm.
However, there was one really good spot. It was the 5-knuckle shuffle into a stare down with Joe. I want to see Joe versus Cena now.
Me too.
Into the Coquina clutch, into the Superman punch to Cena. Like, that whole bit was great.
That was.
But the crowd ruined crowd ruined the match for me.
Yeah, that Brooklyn crowd, like, they need to stop having SummerSlam in Brooklyn. Like, it's a ruckus crowd, yes, but it's ridiculously obnoxious.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Raw. Again, they didn't show the match that Cass got hurt on. But that's really sad.
Just landed right on his knee, and he tried to do the Empire Elbow, and his knee just couldn't take it. He just fell down and started smacking the canvas and swearing up a storm. Like, really? Yeah, they were just cutting out. Like, you just heard just dead silence.
Wow.
Because they had to keep cutting it out and stuff. Yeah, he got hurt pretty bad because he did the thing he always does where he tries to do the big boot, and then the person pulls the rope down, and then he like goes over the rope down onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But when he went down, he didn't land on the side of his leg, like of his thigh. He landed like right on his knee, and like so he just landed right on the side of his knee, and you could see like his the bottom half of his leg, like under his knee, just kind of, So yeah, it's probably ACL or MCL or something.
Yeah, he'll be out for months. Yeah. So there goes his push for now. We'll see what happens afterwards. But that's my thought on Raw. It wasn't anything special. But the promos were relatively good for the most part. I am excited to see Braun versus Brock.
Me too.
I am excited. Again, they've been nailing the heavyweight championship stuff, Universal Championship stuff. The heavyweight guys, even with John Cena, they kind of put some life into it. I want to see Samoa Joe versus Cena. I want to see Samoa Joe win over Cena, because let's stop this whole Cena winning everything stuff again. I want to see Lesnar versus Braun. I want to see a match that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
These guys are against each other by themselves, so it's not a four-person thing. Braun should win this match, but he probably won't.
Yeah.
And they need to make me be okay with Braun not winning.
Yeah.
It needs to be a good setup. But I mean, they've nailed the Universal title picture, nailed it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, like Intercontinental titles, kind of just lulled. Jason Jordan just going off like I want to fight Finn Balor. What? It was a weird Raw. What
It
were your
was.
thoughts on Raw?
It was weird, but just like I don't know. Yeah, it was weird. You're not wrong. Cena was just so awkward. It was so funny. But when him and Roman were in the ring together, staring each other down, the crowd was getting into that. I was getting into that. That was pretty cool. And so, I just love where he's just like, there's one particular superstar I want to call out. And he just stood there waiting, and then Roman's music kicked, and then everybody just went nuts because he's just like, oh, wow, sweet, And then he came out and just stared each other down. Like, that was awesome. And, like, it's just so funny because they're both baby faces, but they're both getting booed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that got me excited. There was electricity in the ring when they were standing there. So that has me really pumped up as to where that's going to go down. What's going to happen there. And they're planting seeds with it when he punched, because he tried to Superman punched Joe, and then Joe got out of the way, and he landed it on Cena. And then at the end, they're just staring each other down again. He just goes, "That's my bad," and then he just walks out of the ring like a boss, like, to where he's just kind of like, "Yeah, I did it on accident, but I don't care," like, kind of thing. And so it's got me really excited as to what's going to. Are they going to do a Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan thing, sort of a passing of the torch to the next top babyface thing?
It'll probably be the next big Survivor Series. It might be that match to hold over to the Braun Brock match. That would make sense to me.
Me too.
Or
Like I could see them maybe captaining teams.
Yeah.
In a Survivor Series tag match, or just that being just a regular match on the card, just them two, or what. But yeah, like that was pretty awesome. And then when Miz came out and just gave an amazing promo, it was fantastic. Like that guy's so great on the stick. And he did such a great job on there. And then I love how he's just like, there's like, oh yeah, the Barclays Center, and he goes, Barclays, but keep going, or whatever. Like that was funny. And
Barclays.
Yeah, all that stuff was good. The match at the end was good, but the crowd ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. When Samoa Joe and Cena had that stare down, that was sick. Like I dug that. All that stuff was good. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Not much else. Not much else was there to write home about. So
It's one of those resetting Raws that kind of just like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's our thought on Raw. What kind of letter grade would you give it?
C plus.
Yeah, C. A solid C for me. I mean, there wasn't too much A grade stuff.
Not really.
Cena was just plain weird.
I give it to C plus because of the seed planting of Roman and Cena, and of course of everything that happened with Paul Brock and Strowman.
Yep, I agree. All right, moving right along. Footloose and fancy free. SmackDown Live into SmackDown Live territory. The last night at the Barclays, thank goodness. I think they're going to be at Memphis next week, and Raw is going to be somewhere else. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's going to be a live event, a house show in Carbondale.
Is it?
Yeah.
Carbondale?
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, we need to go to one of those one day.
We do. My cousin Nick and his family went to one a couple of months ago. I was just like, oh, next time you guys go, get 2 extra tickets, because they came through Raw came through Decatur for a house show.
Oh.
So.
Well, there you go. We'll
have to get it in with my cousin Nick.
Yeah. Pay attention. Yeah. Mostly. All right. So SmackDown Live. Mm-hmm. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Well, SmackDown Live I thought was better than Raw. It was not spectacular, but it had enough okay stuff, I guess. The promo package to open up, those guys, those editing guys really get their, if they're not paid well, they should be. Those guys always do awesome stuff, man. Like, they do amazing jobs. And I loved AJ and Kevin going at it, and then Shane coming out and stuff. I loved all that stuff. And then I loved how he was just like, no, I get to pick the referee. Like, I was dying laughing at that, where he just kept, no, I get to pick the referee and stuff. And he's just like, no, go ahead, Shane, let him pick the referee. I don't care. I'll beat him again and stuff. And so then all the backstage stuff of him asking people to be referees. And I love how he just goes up to the ref, puts his hand on his shoulder, and then the ref just walks away. That was good. yeah, all that stuff was good. The Sami Zayn thing was funny.
There was a bit of me that was hoping that they would reconcile.
Yeah,
I want to see
me too.
Sami
Yeah,
Zayn KO reconcile sometime down the road. That's
yeah. It'll probably be when they, have to dethrone the Usos 600-day long
Yep.
tag team championship. So I want the Usos to have the titles for a long time. I think they're doing such a great job right now. Speaking of which, I'll just move right into that. I liked the Usos and the Hype Bros make the Usos look pretty strong and dominant, and their promo at the end wasn't obnoxious. They did a good job,
Yeah.
with it, and like I just love their new gimmick. I like their heel personas. They're doing such a good job now of all that and stuff like that. Like I wish they would, although I wish they would bring back the whole we're gonna take you out back yellow style. Like I wish they would bring that back, because when they did that one time, that was pretty awesome. So that was good. Baron Corbin becoming the referee, I thought was pretty fun, and I loved everything that happened with that in the main event. And yeah, I don't want to talk about everything because I want to leave you some stuff to talk about and stuff. So I'll go ahead and let you take over with what you liked.
Yeah, I like having a title that has an open challenge.
Yes.
Mostly because it reminds me of the Hardcore Championship in that kind of concept, and so I like that they're doing that with the United States title, that AJ's reinstating, if you will, the U.S. Open Challenge. So I really like that. Obviously, they use that to kind of continue the Shane, or push off for the Shane Kevin feud, and we'll see what happens if Baron Corbin actually shows up next week and challenges AJ for the title or not. Probably get buried again. That's the way it is. The Singh brothers, that match with Shinsuke was not needed, unless they're going to push it off somewhere. The best thing of the night, even though it wasn't necessarily the best match of the night, I think Aiden English is funny.
He is. He's fantastic.
Singing and stuff, and I thought that was really, really great. Opening up, "Spotlight, please," and then he starts singing.
Me,
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
I love that gimmick. It's
funny. I like it a lot too.
And then Bobby Roode comes out. Glorious.
I loved it. I went crazy because I just was like, it just went black, and I was like, oh please God, please, and then I heard glorious. I was just like. I went nuts.
And so he's on SmackDown Live, which is great. I love his character.
I want him to answer the open challenge to the U.S. title.
Eventually.
The two faces of TNA going at it for the U.S. title. Like, maybe do that in a couple weeks, I think. That'd be sweet.
Another thing that I'm interested in seeing where it goes is Daniel Bryan brings out Shelton Benjamin to be tag team partners with with Gable. I've heard, I listened to an interview with Shelton. I think What Culture did it, where Shelton, he'd rather not do tag team matches again. So I feel like this is getting ready to set up Chad versus Shelton.
Interesting.
Which will be, I think it'll be great, a great match.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both these guys are talented guys in the ring.
They're both collegiate, classically trained freestyle Greco-Roman wrestlers. So.
And so next week, I don't know if it'll start right away, but I think they'll quote unquote break up, even though they're not really together.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really funny. Chad's like, yeah, let's go. We'll do that. We'll do this next week. That's great. And Shelton's like, I don't. What? So I thought that was really funny.
When he said, I didn't trade him away for nothing. I said that I would trade him to Raw if Kurt Angle would help me sign one of his friends, and I was just like, is it going to be Shelton Benjamin? And it totally was, because he was on Team Angle.
Yep.
And who's the other guy with him?
I don't remember.
I can't remember his name.
I wasn't watching at that time.
So, but yeah, he was one of the members of Team Angle, and so I like Shelton Benjamin a lot, and him and Brock Lesnar were actually roommates in college. Yeah, they were teammates in college wrestling, and they were actually roommates, which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, the whole Kevin Owens searching for a ref thing was really fun. Breezango coming out, freeze, in the rompums.
Yeah.
That was funny. And then I love Kevin just looking at him. No.
I know, it was great.
And and they walk away. Breeze goes, "To be continued." There's nothing to be continued. I thought that was really, really funny. Natalia, the tag team match, Natalia and Carmella versus Becky Lynch. It's a nice way to set up Carmella. Still miss Money in the Bank. I don't know that she'll cash in soon. I hope she doesn't. I hope she keeps it for a while. But I like the whole when they come out, James like tells them the plan, what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was funny.
And she's like, James. But yeah, that was really funny. Still, the crowd was out of it. The thing I'm most intrigued about, Dolph Ziggler is back.
Yes.
There have been reports that he's been off camera because they wanted to do something different with him.
Okay.
He still sounded like Dolph Ziggler, crazy Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler old. However, here's part of his statement. He was off Raw. He would watch a lot of Raw and SmackDown, and then he says, "I know what it takes to be the best. I'm going to start singing, rapping, dancing around like an idiot. Lasers." He talks about lasers. He talks about big fancy robes. He talks about, "I'll have a beautiful woman. I'm going to have a woman that glows in the dark." That's exactly what I plan to do next week.
I hope he does every single thing he said.
That's funny. If he does all that stuff, please.
Yeah.
He needs to be like, I know the broken gimmick is Matt's. But Dolph Ziggler would be really fun watching to be broken, like just mentally.
Or just like, he's like soul searching. He's trying to find who Dolph Ziggler is. So he just keeps stealing other people's gimmicks.
Yeah, well, yeah, which is
and trying them out.
Kind of what Sandow did, sort of.
Yeah, because he was Mrs. Stunt Double.
Yeah.
He was Ms. Dow.
So we'll see what happens next week if Dolph Ziggler has all those things together or just one at a time and stuff. So
If they did all of them together, that would be hilarious.
Because
I'm really intrigued. But I was like, all right, Ziggler's back, nice, I like it. And so then he just went off on that thing, and I was like, I like it, I really like it. Like, very much intrigued am I.
The Lana and Tamina thing annoyed me, but
that was weird. Yeah,
we'll see what happens with that. And like you said, the final match was fine. Baron being the ref, I thought he did a pretty good job as a ref. He acted well in that. And it's just basically the last match sets up a KO versus Shane, which is fine.
Yeah,
I have no problem with
which
that.
I'm on board with too. I like.
But as far as everything goes, I agree with you. SmackDown Live was better, but I mean that's not saying much. I thought both shows were a mess in ways. And think about it, they just put on like an 800-hour show the night before, nights before, and so you can't complain. SmackDown probably wins it out because they brought Rude back. They brought Rude in, and then they brought Shelton Benjamin back, and the continued feud with KO and Shane, and so. But I mean, that's not saying much. There's not a whole lot else that I could talk about.
Yeah.
So anyway, what grade would you give it?
A B.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B minus because, like I said, I didn't think it was as bad as Raw, but again,
it was. There was nothing outstandingly bad to make me hate it, to make me give it anything below a B. But yeah, it was just a B. It didn't thrill me, but there was enough good stuff there that had me intrigued or excited for next week and stuff. So, and all that.
That's the one thing SmackDown did better, is that it made me want to see next week's SmackDown.
Yeah.
Especially with Dolph coming out, especially with Rude coming out, and they set up next week really, really well. The only thing next week that I remember about Raw is Alexa Bliss versus Sasha, isn't it? Yeah. That's the only thing I remember coming out of that.
Yeah, because everything that happened on Raw, I want instant gratification for. I don't want to see how it plays out. I immediately want to see Brock versus Strowman.
Yep.
I immediately want to see Roman versus Cena. I immediately want to see Samoa Joe versus Cena. I want instant gratification on all that. But with SmackDown, I'm really interested to see how it all plays out. So, that is it. So, you heard it here. You heard it first. Actually, no, you probably didn't hear it first here. But that was a good saying. I just thought I'd say it. I don't know what I'm saying. Just being weird.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, long 4 days of wrestling stuff. The next pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure, is No Mercy.
Yeah, they're promoting
on September 24th.
Yep.
Now, last year after SummerSlam, SmackDown had a pay-per-view 2 weeks after SummerSlam. This year it doesn't look like that's happening. We're gonna wait 5 weeks for No Mercy for Raw.
Yeah, which is good. I think they need to do that with Big Four. Is take at
Breathing
least
room.
4 weeks out.
You need some breathing room for
Yep.
sure. Because I'm okay with 2 pay-per-views a month, but we need some breathing room for the
Big ones.
for the big ones, yeah. But I'm excited though because in October, Hell in a Cell comes to SmackDown, so
Yes.
be very interested to see how that can play out. Maybe will we get Rusev and Randy in a Hell in a Cell match? Yeah, who knows? So, that was our NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 / SummerSlam 2017 / Raw / SmackDown review and recaps. A lot of stuff to talk about today, man. I thought we were gonna go a full 2 hours, but we're only like an hour and 32 minutes or so. So
That's good.
that's good. I figured this would be a really long one, but still fairly long. So well, everybody who listened, all 2 of you, thanks for stopping by and having a listen and hearing our thoughts on wrestling, which is popping right now. Just got some good stuff going on, and so yeah, can't wait to see what the future holds all the way. So everybody, thanks for stopping by. We will see you next time on WWPWW.
Peace.